Okay, 1 minute, and we start. Okay, yeah, so let's go to the, I'm gonna remove my audio. Yeah. As I don't want, what I'm gonna do, sorry, and we start. By WhatsApp. I don't want any problems here. Okay. So let's start, guys. So it's great to have you here, all of you. We have our members of the jury, we have our participants, and welcome to the Clean Energy Systems sessions that is going to be the grand final, semi-final of this Climate Launchpad 2020. So it's great to have you here. I'm very excited. I'm also a bit concerned about any technical issues that we could have during the session, but I know that that everything is going to be fine. You know, everything is going to work great. I don't know why, but I have this feeling. Yeah, and you know, it's great to have you here, guys. And please feel that, and you need to know that you are one of the winners of Climate Launchpad. You know, because only being here in the grand final, it's great. And also remember that you know, there were about 1,000 teams participating in Climate Launchpad, and you are one of the last ones of the chosen that are going to be competing during these 3 days that are going to be really, really amazing. Yeah, as I was already telling, this is the time of your life, but also it's like a starting point of a story that is going to be, really. It's going to give a big impact to this world. Yeah, you know, this problem that is the climate change is a global problem that we need to tackle, as you already know, one startup at a time. Yeah, so it's great to have you here. So welcome everybody, and let me tell you more about this. Yeah, so we are starting, as you can see. And what are the house rules? As you can see, you need to rename yourself, as you have already done it, with your startup name and your own name. Mix and video needs to be off when you are not presenting. We need to cheer all the other teams what they are doing that, or we're going to do it in silence, as you can see. Your pitch will be announced and started by the moderator. The moderator is me. And also, you can keep any additional slide that you could show during the questions of answers, you know, these backup slides. Screen sharing, in fact, is going to be only allowed during these questions and answers. Yeah, and of course, when we finish the 8 pitches that we have right now, you will need to leave. Only the participants, the jury needs to stay, because they're going to be delivering about who is the winner. Yeah, who is the winners of the session. It's going to be 5 minutes pre-recorded pitch, as you know. We are going to watch all the videos. Then we will have 3-minute live questions and answers with the jury. I have already checked the format compliance, but I will check it again right now. I'm going to be like Santa Claus that checked the list twice, yeah? And the announcement of the winners is going to take place tomorrow, October the 1st. I can see the time, but yeah, well, you know, it's going to be tomorrow. It's the only thing I know. I think that it's going to be in the evening. Top 16, so it's going to be 2 teams from this session will access the final stage, that it will be the 2nd of October. All top 16 will get access to the Climate Launchpad Accelerator, and there will be one team winner, that it will be the winner of the session of today. Yeah, the program, as you can see. So we are doing the semifinals today. Tomorrow you will have a lot of really interesting, interactive, active workshops, plus keynotes, plus CLP TV, plus announcements, yeah, as you can see tomorrow, yeah. And on Friday, the 2nd of October is going to be the global grand final, yeah. Well, before we meet the jury, I would like my room boss to say hi as well.
Hi everyone. I just want to wish everyone best of luck and enjoy the whole pitching session.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and also, well, but I haven't introduced myself. My name is Israel Griol. I'm one of the trainers of Climate Launchpad. So that means that some of you, maybe I have been your trainer during this competition, and I'm the moderator today. Yeah, I am based in Valencia, in Spain, by the way. Yeah, as you can see, my accent is not really British. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the jury members, and the first jury member that we have here is Daniela Petrusevsky. If you could please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm an associate partner and country director of Civita, a management consulting company. We're very much interested in everything that's happening, especially my specialty is climate change, anything related to strategic development and environment. And also we're supporting startups and businesses and everything to make this world better. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, Mr. Yuan Malik, he has not able to join us today because he had a last-minute emergency. But anyway, I wanted to keep his face, his picture in the slide because he really wanted to be here with us today. Yeah. So let's go for the next member of the jury. That is Mr. Laszlo Senko.
Hi there. Thank you very much, Israel, for this opportunity to join the jury of Climate Launchpad. I'm considering myself a Climate Launchpad veteran. This is the fourth time that I'm performing as a jury member in the global final. My background is energy, so I'm very happy to be here in the energy session. How do I get to Climate Launchpad? We are organizing Climate Launchpad ever since in Hungary, and I'm wish best of luck for everyone.
That's great. That's great. I was a trainer in Hungary in 2018. Yeah, and that was really nice experience to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
we
next
with Israel for years now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And our next member of the jury is Mr. Paddy Young.
Hi, Israel. Thanks, and I really appreciate being involved in this as well. Yep, my name is Paddy Young. I'm the director, which is a large-scale event. We rebranded, and we really want to play a global role. Our sort of goal is really to be an inclusive guide to the energy transition. Within Inlet Europe, we have something that we're very proud of, which is Initiate, which is really looking at the next generation of technology, the next generation of superstars and heroes within the sector, and really also looking at that social impact around energy and the good that we can really do. And Initiate really is the sort of beating heart, the pure element of purpose around Inlit. And being involved with something like this, I think, is wonderful and really something we want to get more and more involved in. So once again, thank you for letting me be involved.
That's fantastic. You know, I lived 3 years in Ireland, and my first song was called Paddy because I really enjoyed my time there. You know.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of Irish blood, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wonderful place.
Wonderful place. Yeah. And this is the teams that we're going to have performing today. Yeah, we have Biogas Nyumbani, EcoBora, Klimate, Paragon H2, Renkube, Thermosolar, Time Machine for Energy Hydrogen, and VirtualEL. Yeah, so we have all our hopes in you because you're going to be the game rule changers. You know, you're going to be the one that are gonna really have a big impact. All of you, not only the two ones that are going to be representing this session in the finals. All of you, you know. So thank you very much for being here, and a big round of applause for you because you know that's amazing what you have done already. And with that, I think that it's time to start. Yeah, with our first team. Let me check. Oh yeah, good luck today. So yes, remember what is the, Climate Launchpad is here only to help you and to foster and to catalyze a bit your activity, and of course it's about fixing climate change one startup at a time, yeah? So let's start. Thank you very much, Climate Launchpad as well. So the first startup, I don't know if you're ready, but we have our first video here and it's coming. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's coming with this. Let me check. Yeah.
The daily task of consuming activities for both Tuesday. In some of the rural areas, people spend even more than 3 hours a day heading to the collection sites. Some can walk 5-7 kilometers heading to sites. This waste of the time. In addition to that, the indoor pollution.
Okay. So what I was saying that we were not going to have technical problems. It was more a wish than another thing. Yeah. Let me see if we can fix it. Yeah. We have all the bandwidth from the university, but sometimes I'm gonna start again because this is what I was really hoping not to.
Gathering can be one of the single most time-consuming activities for both women and children. In some of the rural areas, people spend even more than 3 hours a day heading to the collection sites. Some even walk 5-7 kilometers into these collection sites. It's waste of time. In addition to that, pollution due to the cooking energies like fire and charcoal has been a wide variety of diverse health effects, including an increased risk of cancer in long-term use. The Biogas Nyumbani team saw the need to be a standalone biogas machine that could be used in food and charcoal. My name is Stanley from Biogas Nyumbani. Biogas Nyumbani is an alternative cooking energy startup that produces and sells biogas standalone machines to customers in rural areas, and in return they pay us to use either in full or in a convenient payment plan, and together we monitor the performance of this machine in order to modify it. We want a market that's enough for us to be the key dominators and the key players, but also enough for us to generate some cash. So we have about 10,000 customers with a 45% of the market share. That will generate about 400,000 in profit per year. So we are targeting 2 specific areas in Tanzania, which are Arusha region and Manyara region. And the reason behind is because we have livestock activities taking place in a larger number in these areas, but also there's a good word of mouth for our marketing strategy. So the value that you are bringing into the society is based on the reduction of the time consumed, the cost used, and the effects on health. In the cost area, with Biogas Nyumbani, the customer will be saving 0.73 euro daily that could have been used in energy. In addition to that, with Biogas Nyumbani, you will save time, and the gas produced does not emit a clean fuel, and what produces the digestate, which in other words is an organic fertilizer that can be used to maximize the productivity in the agricultural sector. The product we have can be summarized from cow dung to biogas fuel. So it's a standalone machine that can move to any place, but also it's incorporated with sensors that enable us to measure the flow and the leakage in the machine itself. But also it's incorporated with a sulfur removal feature, which enables us to clean the gas to not damage the pans. But also it produces a dry gas. So we conducted interviews with people in rural areas, people in urban areas, and business owners in both charcoal fired and LPG. And the major key learning we found is that the market for biogas machines is mostly in rural areas, and mostly in specific areas where livestock activities take place in a larger number. So in our financials in 2023, with only 45% of this market share, we will be generating about 260,500 euros profit per year, with the key drivers being the product price, number of customers, and the product lifetime. So according to Food and Agriculture Organization, for every 1 kilogram of charcoal produced, also 9 kilograms of CO2 produced. This is not good for our environment. So with only 45% of the market share, we will save about 1 million tons of CO2 annually. Heading to this amazing team made up of 5 members. Baraka Mgeni, who is our engineering expert, but also an automation engineer, and has almost 5 3 years of expertise in biogas. Who is a sales expert and good in economics and statistics. Edson Stanley, who is the founder, and that's me, also good in electronics and telecommunications, but also has a 2-year experience in this biogas industry. Somewhere else, but also good in electronics. And just 5 straight years of experience in community economic development. So heading to our founding dream, we want to create social impact in our industry. So we want to create 250 employment opportunities to youth by 2025, create about 500,000 euros valuation by 2025. And one of the major important factors is to reduce the usage of charcoal and wood fuel. Join us while we clean the world while making happy faces. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry about the problems, the technical problems that we were going to have all the time. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have already discovered. Now it's time for questions and answers from the jury. So I'm going to start sharing the screen so that you can start the questions.
May I start? Edson,
yes.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was a very nice presentation. I do like your project. There was one figure that pretty much stuck in my mind, that 1 million ton of CO2 that you will avoid. How did you come to this figure? How did you calculate it? Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I think if it's okay, I can share my screen for the backup slide. Okay, yes, thank you. Well, the way we came up with this kind of solution was that we had to first determine how this charcoal is produced. You know, charcoal in our environment is normally produced in the forests, and the way that they do it is they cut down trees, but after cutting down the trees, they do the kilns. They call them the kilns. That's in the middle, and after the kilns, you get the charcoal itself. So what we did was first we had to consider what our customers are actually using. So with our customers, we found out that for a single meal, a person uses almost 1.5 to 2 kilograms of charcoal for only a single meal. So for 3 meals, it takes about you can say about 8 kilograms of charcoal. So rounding this up to about 4,500 customers, you can see a large number of emission that is taking place in the environment. But again, including this with the deforestation factor, that's how we came out to get this kind of number.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. And again, wonderful presentation, and I really enjoy this topic as well. I think it's very important. Around clean cooking, I think it's essential globally. But I'm just curious about you're talking about early adapters and market development. And obviously, I think it's crucial that phase next year to get people to switch. And I'm just curious about the process behind that and how you're going to approach it.
Okay, thanks a lot for the other good question. Yes, so with our beachhead market, what we did, we had first to find a greater market that we're going to be able to stick in this kind of solution. So we did in our interview, out of 10 people, only 1 person has seen biogas, by the way. It's quite amazing. And out of 9 people, out of 10, people know about biogas. It's not something new, but now to see it working, it's another issue. So what we did, we had to go in those areas where livestock is taking place in a larger number. In Tanzania, in our own country right now, we have about 34.4 million cattle, putting it in the 3rd position in Africa. So we have a large number of cattle. So we had to go in Arusha and Manyara, which are larger regions with this kind of business. So out there, we found those, we call them the leaders of the clans. We call them the Laiguanas. So these leaders are the ones that always lead the clans and give advice to the lower people. So what we did, we had to talk to them and try to see how they can change to switch, because the difficult issue is switching from using the charcoal, using the firewood, and coming to biogas. And the major reason what was making them to stay behind, to stick back, was because with biogas, biogas companies that were available to install the biogas, and they had to use a large space to dig the digester and put that kind of infrastructure. So with this solution now, we are planning to ensure that it's a standalone machine that is movable, but because we have livestock industry, we are in the livestock industry, we want to make it movable so that when these clans and these families are moving around, they can move with it and still use this kind of solution to solve their problems and avoid those healthy problems and other problems that are faced due to these.
Okay, thank you.
And I would have also a question. What is the capacity?
Last question.
Yes, what is the capacity, the biogas capacity of this device that you're providing for, and how much livestock waste would it need to actually work, as well as how much time?
Okay, thanks a lot. Yes. So our main aim, starting with the question, our main aim is to reduce. If a family was using charcoal or firewood for 3 times a day, we want to reduce that to at least one. Use firewood for only a single time, because with biogas, what happens is that it needs some time to regenerate. So what we did was to ensure that we created a system that actually can carry about 35 liters of sludge. That's mixed with cow dung and water to ensure that it's working. But also we had to ensure that we inserted another technology that's very new in our country. When with the biogas digester, it always creates a top layer later in the digester that have gas from coming out, and this makes the gas from going outside. So we have inserted a motor that ensures that it mixes the mixture in the digester itself and ensures that the gas is moving. So I can say after 10 days of installment of putting that mixture, then you can still start getting that kind of solution, and then it can iterate and move on as we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So big round of applause for you, my friend. So we need to move. Thank you, Edson. So we need to move to the next team. So I'm going to share the screen again, and we're going to go for EcoBora from Kenya. So let me go back here. Yeah, and let's see if we are a bit more lucky with the next step, with the next video. Let me see. Yeah.
Staggering statistics shows that 1.6 million rely on.
Sorry.
On the schools to afford a meal a day. With November 20th, the government of Kenya banned logging in the country, and this has resulted to an increase in the price of firewood, resulting to the pressure of schools feeding their students, living with the school-going children to make a choice of whether learning hungry or dropping out of school. A tough choice no one should be required to make. And at EcoBora, we have made this tough decision by creating this solar stove that is providing to these students. We are providing these secondary schools with a solar cooking stoves, and in turn, they are paying us 10,000 euros per unit, and that is our deal. We are targeting a budget market of 10,000 secondary schools in Kenya, and these schools are cooking using firewood. They have an average of 700 students, and they're spending more than 30,000 euros per year to cook for their students. With the government ban in the country, which has created pressure in the schools, we forecast that with our strategies and innovation, we shall capture a 50% market share. As a company, we are meeting our customers at their points of need, whereby with our technology, schools will only spend a maximum of 1,000 euros per year as compared to firewood and LPG, whereby they are spending more than 30,000 euros to cook for their students. And this money they're saving, they'll use this money to create labs for their students, and even maybe upgrade that, because everybody loves food. Today, we're introducing to you our winning patented solar stove, which works in 3 very simple steps. The first step, we collect the sun's energy. Number 2, we store this heat energy in our tank. And lastly, we use this energy to power the cookstove to provide food for students. This is the future of cooking. We pride ourselves in customer-centric organizations, whereby we carried out a 6-month market validation study schools spend a minimum per year of firewood to provide for. And these schools are spending a minimum of 30,000 euros to purchase this. We also learned that these schools are in dire need of affordable and clean cooking solutions. And lastly, they want to provide better learning infrastructure for their students. With this study, we ended up signing 5 contracts with 5 various schools, which we are actively servicing at the moment. As a company, we also want to make money. And by the year 2024, we project a profit of 750,000 euros, which will be created by servicing 500 schools. And for us, our key drivers are the cost of the stoves, the price of these stoves, and the number of schools we'll have supported. With our technology, we shall create a profound climate impact, whereby we project that we shall be able to reduce or save 240 metric tons of trees from being converted into firewood, and save more than 150,000 tons of CO2 being emitted from these schools per year. Lastly, this is our amazing entrepreneurial team made up of entrepreneurs, innovators, and even enthusiasts, from Mrs. Mwangi to Mr. Mageto, who are lead engineers, to Mrs. Mary Auma, who's in charge of our marketing, and to Mrs. Mary Becky, who's in charge of protecting our bottom line. And to our CEO, Mr. David, who brings about the industrial experience. Lastly, I've been Justin Abuga, who's in charge of the business development, protecting our customers and our investors' values. And lastly, our dream, hope, and prayer as a business, that no school-going child should be able to either learning or getting food. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the questions from the jury. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that you can join. So please start with the questions.
Shall I go first? Again, you'll see I'm more of a marketer. So my question is regarding about the market. You're obviously, it's very specific, very targeted, and you rely on that. So I'm just curious about how you're going to get into that market, and whether as a business you'll look to the possibilities of expanding out of that school area. I think impact, all those, it looks fantastic, but I'm just curious about the market aspect.
Thank you for the question. How we're going to get to a market is very simple. One way is that we're giving these schools free energy audits before installation, for them to be able to understand how much energy they're losing and how much they can save by embracing solar. And number two, we don't give these schools a financial burden. They just have to redirect their firewood budget to paying to EcoBora. So those are the biggest customer acquisition strategies in terms of marketing. And in terms of growth, our solution can be used in hospitals, refugee setups, food processing factories, like in Kenya. They can be used in tea factories. But at this moment, we are focusing to begin with these schools, since they are our early adopters, and later now we can move this technology to factories, hospitals, refugee camps, and even communal cooking. So basically, that's our growth trajectory in terms of customers.
No, very interesting. Thank you. That's good.
It might be a very silly question, but do you plan to have any backup solution for cooking if there's no sun?
You mean a backup for cooking, or?
Yeah, backup solution, a backup device, because if there's sun, there's food. If there's no sun, there's no food, and that seems a little.
Yeah, good question, actually. So from our solution slide, you saw the second compartment, which was the energy storage tank. So that tank allows us to store energy for more than 20 days, you know. So that's one way to avoid such a scenario. But God forbid, if maybe there's a crisis whereby there's a technical problem with our stove, whereby it doesn't work. So this is what happens. So when we go to these schools, we don't destroy the existing firewood boilers. We just install our boilers adjacent to. So in case there's a problem, maybe a technical problem or maybe too much rainfall, So the students can maybe resort towards using the old or firewood boilers, as they allow us to sort of rectify the solution, the problem, I mean, or maybe wait for sunlight. So we are trying to be smart to prevent such a risk in terms of operations.
Thank you very much. One more question. If I understand correctly, that you are in the product development phase, you already have a prototype. It's not only an idea, but you already have a prototype of your product.
We have installed in one school. Before installation, we did 3 prototypes. We have a certification of our product locally. We even 3 months ago, we were given the Solar Impulse certificate for our technology. So we have a working product on the ground.
Okay. I have one more question. What is the actual surface that is needed to collect the energy?
Service in terms of service area?
Yes.
So it depends on the size of the school. Like I'll give you a scenario: the school we have installed. The school we have installed as a students of 500 students. So such a school needs us 10 boilers. Those 10 boilers, they require 12 solar collectors. That's a total of 40 meters square cubic area of solar collectors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, for the wonderful presentation and also for your questions. We need to move on for the next team. So I'm going to share the screen again and pray. Yeah, and let me see. I'm going to take off my video, and we're going to go for the next one. The next one is Klimate from Denmark.
Hello, my name is Katja Grode Eberhard and I represent Klimate from Denmark. In 2019, we surpassed the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that is needed to stay within the 1.5 degree increase in temperature that we promised each other to stay within. That means that we can do everything to reduce our CO2 footprint, and we should, but we also need to do everything to remove excess CO2 from the atmosphere as well. This is not only necessary to stay with the temperature increase, but it's also one of the most promising future business areas. The issue is that carbon removal is too expensive and it's not scalable yet. We need to change that. Klimate is the platform for brokering carbon removal quotas. We onboard carbon removal suppliers, verify and certify the removal, and through our algorithm, we bundle the initiatives to offer carbon removal to companies as an alternative to CO2 quotas. We charge the market price and a transaction fee of 15%. Our beachhead market potential is 16 million euros. We focus on sustainability-focused high-end service and product companies in Northern Europe, since these companies already have a high price point and are focused on quality. The total market size for carbon dioxide allowances was 144 billion euros in 2019, and derived from this market, we end up with our beachhead market potential of 16 million euros. For our customer value proposition, we offer market pricing of carbon removal instead of fixed prices. We certify and verify the carbon removed, and we provide prices as low as CO2 quotas with quota certification. Currently, the price of removing 1 ton of CO2 via direct capture is as high as 900 euros per ton. With carbon sequestration, it is as low as 12 euros per ton. Through our algorithm, we can combine the methodologies to offer actual carbon removal of 24 euros per ton, and therefore provide a real alternative to CO2 quotas that are currently priced as 25 euros per ton. So we provide an assessment of the client's carbon removal need. Based on the preferred pricing technology mix, we provide a carbon removal package. And finally, we provide verified and certified removal and communication of action. So our competitive advantage is we create validation and transparency in the market for carbon removal, and it's backed by blockchain. We provide fluctuating market prices, and we actually provide actual carbon removal at prices that compete with CO2 quota levels. We already have active customers on board via our MVP. In the customer discovery phase, we interviewed a total of 30 stakeholders, including private consumers, companies, investors, carbon removal companies. Our assumptions were that companies want to make a positive climate impact, but they're starting to find real climate initiatives, and at the same time, carbon dioxide removal is expensive and needs demand to scale. We found that companies want carbon neutrality packages in line with what big corporates like Microsoft can do. Companies are struggling with real carbon neutrality initiatives as an alternative to quotas, and carbon dioxide removal companies need a marketplace to bundle the amount of requests they're getting in. If we zoom in on the financials, the key drivers for climate are the number of products or tons sold per deal, the market size, and the market share. If we expect a market of 10,000 companies and a market share of 25%, we end up with a profit of 16 million euros in year 5. Climate impact related, carbon capture is 2,000 times more productive than a tree. One carbon collector can remove 50 tons CO2 per year and has permanently removed it after 2 years. In comparison, one tree removes 25 kilos of CO2 per year, and it's only fully productive after more than 30 years and as long as the tree is standing. The total impact from our beachhead market is 187,500 tons CO2 per year. We have an experienced team behind Klimate. Matemil is my co-founder and CMO. Thomas works on partnerships, business development, and suppliers, and Melanie on UI and UX and design. We have both technical and political advisors, and myself, Katja, I'm the founder and the CEO. We want to remove 1 million tons CO2 by 2025, and our goal is to validate demand and reinvest in developing hardware for urban carbon capture. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I'm very much hearing your questions.
Oh, thank you very much, Klimate. So we are gonna go for the questions from the jury. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
Thank you.
All right, shall I start with the questions? We are just waiting
Yes,
for each other, I guess. Katja, thank you very much for the presentation. Very interesting project. What makes you think that you are not too early on the market? Because carbon removal might become big in a couple of years' time, but I'm not sure if it's already big. What was your experience when you made your interviews with carbon removal companies? What are their current business models and how do they plan to change that?
Yeah, that's a great question and it's super relevant. So I mean, it's very early in development of the technology, and I think that's a valid thing to take into consideration. It was the same with windmills and solar energy when it started out. But being active this early in the process means that we can work with the companies also to scale the supply that is available. So we're right now setting up models for also making sure that our customers can invest in setting up new facilities and secure removal over a longer period of time. So I believe it's the perfect time to enter the market right now. The technology is it's already being implemented all over the world. And we also see that more and more initiatives are working on also removing the permanent storage of CO2. So I believe that it's actually, we are early, but we are getting a lot of interest. And I also think it's important to ensure that supply is scaled right now.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting technology, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of opportunity around there, but it's developing that demand initially and to create a sustainable business. So who would you approach? What is your target market to begin with? Because I think it's essential really when in this period of development. I'm just curious how and who specifically you target to generate early business, early revenues.
Yeah, and that's a great question. Thank you so much. So the companies we're currently talking to are the ones we already have onboarded in our MVP. They are either interested in removing historic emissions. So there is a big trend right now on doing that. My ex-employer is doing it and Microsoft is doing it. So we see a lot of companies that are right now spending a lot of millions into investing into these technologies, but it's not every company that can do that on the same scale. So that means that we are now talking to SMEs that are very interested in doing exactly the same, but that don't have the capacity or the sort of financial to do the big investments. So we're actually getting a lot of interest from SMEs, both in Denmark and all over Europe. But I also see that the large cap and small cap will be very interesting in driving forward demand in this market.
Yeah, I think that's a very good answer
Thank you.
as well. A very good answer, really, really. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, then, so it's my turn now. I enjoyed a lot the presentation, and there is one thing that actually struck my mind is the fact that you mentioned and you compared the technology to the tree. And actually, when you do that and the way you presented it, it meant, don't you think somehow companies will actually try to replace trees or planting trees or with this specific technology?
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Dahila. And to clarify that, it's not my intention at all, and it's not what the message is to companies. When we're comparing this climate impact, it's sort of a different variable. It's a difficult variable to compare when we have a technology to remove carbon. And the only sort of markets we can compare it to now are offsetting markets, which are, replacing stoves or planting trees, for instance, which are super, super important. And it's not at least important for our biodiversity, but it's a different aspect. And if we talk impact, that was my best comparison. but it's never my intention that we don't need trees in this world, that's for sure.
Good to know. I hope you can actually a little bit speak because it's actually striking indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I can have one last question.
Okay, but only because it comes from you. Yes, of course you can.
Thank you very much. No, I mean, what is your business model? That's question 1A, and 1B is what is the carbon removal price right now that you can offer for your clients?
You said business model first, right? Sorry.
Yes.
You said business model first, and then the price of carbon removal.
Exactly.
So business model is that we collaborate with the suppliers of carbon removal technologies. We onboard and certify them, and we charge an administration fee on top to the companies that we then offer the service of removing carbon, either historic or future or current, as we talked about, like we see Microsoft doing. And the other part was the price of carbon removal. Direct air capture is 900 euros per ton, so that's quite a lot. But you have other methodologies like carbon sequestration that is as low as 12 euros per ton. So we can, through the algorithm, we can bundle the technologies for carbon removal to make sure that we can compete on price with the quota levels.
Thank you very much.
Israel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We need to move on for the next team. Thank you so much, Katia. Thank you very much, Climate. So let me go for our next team. Our next team comes from Israel, but not from me. From the country. I'm named Israel as well. The trainers have a places name of places. Yeah, I'm Israel from Spain, but we have Paris from Cyprus. We have France from the Netherlands. So this is how we work. Yeah, and so we are moving to Paragon H2. So get ready. I'm gonna put the video on. Well, first of all, I think that it worked a bit fine if I remove my video, if I take off my video. So let's try again. And what I'm going to do is to share the screen that is here. And let's try if it works. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to try again.
Hi, my name is Eric, co-founder and CEO of Paragon H2, which is looking to reduce the financial and environmental costs of clean water. Why are these costs so high? Because it's a lot of electricity, polluting electricity, clean water for homes, factories, and cities around the world. Paragon H2 will tackle the environmental aspects by providing electricity, but uses hydrogen to clean water. Costs so high because it takes a lot. Costs so high because it takes a lot of electricity, polluting electricity, to clean water for homes, factories, and cities around the world. Paragon H2 will tackle both the financial and environmental aspects by providing a device that doesn't use electricity but uses hydrogen to clean water, and it actually produces electricity at the same time. So let's make a deal. Paragon H2 will give you a device using the hydrogen you already have on site. You are, for example, a desalination plant that has hydrogen or a chemical plant. All we ask in return is that you provide €3/4 for every 1,000 liters that you clean using our device. The water market is over 150 billion.
Okay, so I think that it's
Orders.
not this one. It's the one with more delay. So let's do it different. I'm gonna try again from the beginning. Okay. No, I think that now we can hear anything. Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's not being, I don't know if the audio is not being shared.
Israel,
Right
do you
now.
want me to play on my side?
Yeah. You can try. Just check if from your side it's working better.
Okay.
Thank you for doing it. I'm even using a wire, yeah, but even with the wire, it's not working as good as it worked when we did the test.
Israel, should I try and play it on my side?
Whatever you prefer. If you want to try, do it. The only thing is that we are not hearing anything.
Okay, let me try.
Yes, try. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Yair Kornblit, co-founder and CEO of Paragon H2, which is working to reduce the financial and environmental costs of cleaning water. Why are these costs so high? Because it takes a lot of electricity, polluting electricity, to clean water for homes, factories, and cities around the world. Paragon H2 will tackle both the financial and environmental aspects by providing a device that doesn't use electricity but uses hydrogen to clean water and actually produces electricity at the same time. So let's make a deal. Paragon H2 will give you a device that cleans water using the hydrogen you already have on site. You are, for example, a desalination plant that has hydrogen or a chemical plant. All we ask in return is that you provide us with €0.75 for every 1,000 liters that you clean using our device. The water market is over 150 billion euros per year and growing. But let's focus in on the near term. It's important to us. Desalination and industrial wastewater, which is already larger than 20 billion euros per year and growing. Finally, the area we're really going to start off in our beachhead market, over 800 million euros per year and growing, consisting of existing hydrogen users that need to clean their water, such as methanol manufacturers, petroleum refineries, and ammonia manufacturers. The value we give our customers is great. For every 1,000 liters that they clean, they save about 13 kilowatt hours of electricity, 3.5 kilograms of carbon emissions. They get their clean water, and they save around €1.50 of operational expenses. Even after paying us in the petroleum example, Paragon H2 will save them about 600,000 euros per year as compared to reverse osmosis technology and 10.4 million kilowatt hours of polluting electricity. Technology is essentially a hybridization of fuel cells and electrodialysis. We feed fuel cells hydrogen and air, they produce electricity. Electrodialysis uses a voltage to remove pollutants that are dissolved in the water by pulling them out, such as salt and phosphates. You have a single device that can do both. Feed it dirty water and hydrogen, and what comes out is clean water and electricity. This is a picture of a prototype already running at the Technion, desalinating, producing electricity, which has been developed by my co-founder for the last 2 years, and the Technion has filed a patent with him listed as a co-inventor. It generates electricity while cleaning water, it has improved maintenance as compared to reverse osmosis, can reduce costs for its users, and carbon emissions. We've spoken to more than 15 people around the world. We're right now speaking to a petroleum refinery that is considering putting us as a pilot in their refinery. We've met someone in the ammonia field that is happy to connect us with over 500 factories around the world. And we've gotten great response from chemical manufacturers as well. Key takeaways: reverse osmosis is not the only target. As we learned from our friend in the ammonia field, we can displace other technologies as well. Surprisingly large volumes are being treated, which is great for our business case. And we should really approach integrators so that they can put us in the hands of customers. Within 5 years, and just a 5% penetration of the beachhead market, taking into account the price of hydrogen, the price of electricity, and the concentration of pollutants, Paragon H2 could be making more than 12 million euros per year. On the environmental side, We're protecting bodies of water by making recycling of water cheaper, by creating new sources of water so that we can protect our bodies of water. In addition, on the climate side, a petroleum refinery using our technology instead of reverse osmosis could save 3,000 tons of carbon emissions per year. Not to mention that the entire beachhead market as a whole, if they use our technology instead of reverse osmosis, 2 million tons of carbon emissions could be prevented every year. We have a dream, and that's to use clean energy to supply the world with clean water and clean electricity. I teamed up with Matt after I saw the great work he was doing in the water treatment technology field. I myself come from business and engineering experience background around the world with more than 10 years of experience. Matthew is running a lab at the Technion and is invited to speak around the world on energy storage technologies and water treatment technologies. Our great mentor, Bern, has almost 2 decades of experience in the investment banking world and is situated in Europe. And we're currently speaking to 2 professionals to join us on the side of consulting for the business side as well as the water side. By 2025, we expect to have 75 customers around the world, to begin growing to desalination for cities, and within 10 years to team up with on-demand hydrogen users to create clean water and electricity for remote sites around the world. We are Paragon H2. We thank you very much.
Woohoo. Thank you very much. So now it's time for questions from the jury members.
Right, shall I kick off? Firstly, I think it's great. The whole problem with industrial wastewater is huge, and what it does to aquifers and the way that it's dealt with. But then also the whole water energy nexus here, and I think also the utilization of hydrogen. And I see far more applications of this as a storage proposal opportunity for other industrial users. So I like all of these elements. If you look at the management team, I think obviously I look at it at face value. You've got the investment banker, you have yourself very strong business and engineering experience around the world, and a sort of someone very strong in the technology side as well. But if you look about trying to get it to market, because that is, as I say, I think it's fantastic, but then that stepping that over for the market to accept it and to use it is sometimes a very difficult step. Do you think you're all equipped to be able to do that? So direct question.
Sure, no problem. Since it's B2B starting out, we've had a good fortune of connecting with potential customers, and already a request from a chemical manufacturer to do a pilot, but because the product isn't there yet, we couldn't do it. So it seems fairly easy to start getting those initial contacts. But of course, you're right, we should have a sales team, and the plan already takes that into account. So in the second year of development, there is a room for hiring the salesperson to start doing that more aggressively. But the way we're doing it now is contacting directly manufacturers like petroleum refineries, chemical manufacturers, through LinkedIn, through conferences is the next thing once the world comes back together, and through other routes. But it's going quite well already. But we are going to hire. We do plan to expand the team. You can't just do it all on the small team.
Okay. No. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. Can you walk us through, please, your slide when you comparing your technology with the petroleum, because I just didn't get how you come up with the figures.
Sure thing.
Thank you very much. This one, yeah.
No, this is a different one. Just a second.
This is the one. This is the one. Yeah.
This is the one. Okay. All right. You see a correction here. We can discuss that in a second. So, so you see everything. What's your question?
I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, what is the petroleum example? This is a petroleum. I mean, how does it come to the picture?
Sure. So here you're making an assumption that you have a lot of wastewater. You assume that the pollution level is at that of seawater, meaning 35,000 ppm of pollutants. So you can say it's salt dissolved in water or some other pollutants that are soluble that can be removed using reverse osmosis technology or our technology. Mm-hmm. What you do next is reverse osmosis technology relies on the continuous consumption of electricity. You can say 3 kilowatt hours per meter cubed. And what happens next is that Paragon H2 is using hydrogen instead of electricity. So you avoid the 3 kilowatt hours. You're also producing electricity from the consumption of hydrogen and air. So you get 10 kilowatt hours extra. And there you're already having the cost savings minus the cost of hydrogen. So the business case makes sense when hydrogen has a proper price, when your pollution level is at the right amount, and when you're cleaning enough water. So if you were only cleaning, a liter of water, that's not going to make sense. But here, what you're doing is you have massive amounts of water every single day at a petroleum refinery that needs to be cleaned, and you're doing an energetic and cost comparison for what we can do and what reverse osmosis can do.
Yeah, I was calculating that it might be in the case of 5,000 per person equivalent amount of money.
So if you assume that a petroleum refinery, an example that I've spoken to a petroleum refinery, okay. 4,000 meter cube per day is an assumption that's reasonable for the amount of water going through. And then if you take into account 3 kilowatt hours per meter cube for 4,000 meters cubed, then you can make this calculation pretty straight.
All right, got it. Thank you.
You're assuming, of course, the cost of electricity, and so that's what else you have to take into account. Also, there's a correction here that the CO2 is supposed to be lower, but that we've done further analysis since I recorded this video. But yeah, these are the numbers for the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.
Now I have a question. Since the technology itself means cleaning, it means that there will be a residue, there will be some waste. And you haven't mentioned the amount, you haven't mentioned the types, because as I understand, this might be also some, some waste that need a specific type of landfill or preservation or something like that, or reuse maybe.
That's a good point, by the way. A lot of people miss that I don't discuss it, but there's a reason I don't discuss it, which is you're comparing a technology, reverse osmosis, that already has a waste stream. When you're cleaning something, you're always going to have the waste stream. And so they already have a process in place. Our beachhead market already accounting for their waste. So we're producing the same waste essentially as they're producing. So they know how to handle their waste. That's why you don't see me mentioning it here. But of course, once you clean something, there has to be something. So there is a waste stream. I think it's 50 to 80% rejection is the number for our technology. But basically, yes, you're right. There's a waste stream, but they already know how to handle it. So that's not a big issue. All the people already cleaning their water, they're dealing with their waste, right? Hopefully they're not dumping it into anywhere suspicious, but that's not the key problem. So here you're comparing apples to apples, essentially. You've removed the waste issue.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So what we are going to do now is to have a mini break of 5 minutes, and then we can continue with the next team. Thank you very much for the first 4 teams that have already performed, and we have still 4 more teams to go. So in 5 minutes, we will continue with the last 4 teams. And now it's time to go to the toilet, to go for popcorn, whatever you need. Okay, so see you in 5 minutes. Let's keep the fun. And while we are in the break, maybe it will be a great chance for me and my room boss to try the presentation from your side, just to see if we can fix this technical problem. So, my dear room boss, it's time to do the test.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Now our next team would be Renkube after break.
Right. But in the meantime, let me just play the video of Paragon H2 and see.
Mm-hmm. And if it works better from your side, I don't want to take the risk of continuing from my side if it works like this.
Yeah, just let me know if it's running smoothly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cost so high because it takes a lot of electricity, polluting electricity, to clean water for homes, factories, and cities around the world.
Much better from your side, my friend. So we will continue with the next team, but from that was the last team that we have already seen. So if you can get everything ready, you will be the one sharing the screen.
Okay, great. So I'll run it on my PC.
Thank you. You are our lifesaver. So we are just 1 minute away to continue. So coming ready, because in 1 minute we're gonna start again. Yeah. So by the way, before we start, I can tell you that we have already had 4 teams performing, 4 wonderful teams that were Biogas Nyumbani, EcoBora, Klimate, and Paragon H2, and we still have 4 more teams that are going to perform right now. The first one is Renkube Private Limited from India. Then we have Thermosolar from France. We have Time Machine for Energy Hydrogen from Ukraine. And the last one, it will be VirtualEL from Colombia. That's the menu for the next minutes that we're going to enjoy all together. I remind all of you that we are in Clean Energy System session. We are the coolest teams for Climate Launchpad. We are having a great time. We are really, really enjoying this as our starting point from a better world. Yeah. So now it's time to continue, hopefully with less technical problems. Our room boss is going to be our lifesaver, and he's the one that's going to be sharing the screen, so that if you are prepared, it's time to continue with this big party. So, okay, so let's move with the next team, that is Renkube Private Limited from the India.
Hi, this is Dr. Lakshmi Santanam, Principal Engineer and Co-founder at Renkube. Renkube is a solar R&D company based out of Bangalore, India. The primary innovation from Renkube is a unique design for the solar glass that can boost the energy generation in the panel by 20% more. Here is a snapshot of our flagship solar panel. The unique design of the glass is such that it can coexist with any type of solar cell technology, be it poly, multi-crystalline solar cells, or perovskite solar cells, or thin film solar panels. The deal is Renkube will be supplying the solar glass to the panel manufacturers who will be assembling it in their manufacturing line, and we would be charging $6.6 per square meter of solar glass. The market for this is huge. Every year, about 100 gigawatts of solar deployment is being done worldwide, and in India alone, about 20 gigawatts is being added. Our beachhead market will be the rooftop solar segment, which is about 5 gigawatts in India. And supplying solar glass in the beachhead market, the value is about $1.5 billion US. We'll be primarily focusing in the rooftop segment before we go to solar farms and then globally expand our customer footprint. So what makes a panel attractive? When compared to a traditional solar panel, the Renkube panel boosts the revenue by 20% more. And all of this is a 10% increase in capital cost. The solar glass does the optical tracking of the sunshine, and as there are 0 moving parts, there is 0 maintenance overhead, and there is absolutely 0 running cost involved. And the glass, once it's deployed, lasts long for 30 years. The traditional solar panel, if you see, has a flat glass. Now we replace this with a prismatic design of the glass, and we have filed 6 patents on this unique design of the glass and the unique arrangement of the solar cells as seen here. The competitive advantage of the product is our patent portfolio, the glass fabrication, and specialized test equipments that we supply to manufacturers to do quality control of the prismatic glass. We have spoken with several panel manufacturers and solar developers, and some of the key questions we asked them were, what is the price range that they're willing to pay, and what is their willingness to change their manufacturing lines. And some of the key learnings we got during this discussion is the panel manufacturers continued to prefer only low iron solar glass, and for utility farm owners, competitive pricing is very important to win the government tenders. We understood all of the challenges and addressed them in our unique design. This is our financials for the year 2023 by when we intend to scale to 100 megawatt of deployment. We'll be partnering with 5 panel manufacturers to whom we'll be selling 0.6 million units of solar glass in a year. Per unit of solar glass, we'll be making a profit of $1.5, and overall, this translates to a revenue of roughly about $1 million. The key drivers of this will be our patent portfolio and the lower cost of energy generation. And this is for just 2% of our beachhead market, and the potential is really huge worldwide. The climate impact with 40% of the beachhead market is we save 0.8 megatons of CO2 emission. The traditional solar panels today, as it is, save CO2 emission. With the Renkube solar panel, we additionally save 0.8 megatons of CO2 emissions in a year. This is our founding team driving this technology, consisting of Balaji, who is a founder and the CEO. He is a Cisco veteran. He has 3 Pioneer Awards and 13 US patents. And Janardhan comes from a rich manufacturing experience. And my other partner is Deepika, and myself, Lakshmi. I come from a rich research and product background. Our dream is to develop innovative technologies in the renewable energy space. We want to achieve 10 million revenue by 2025, and we want to be known as the Intel Insight in the solar world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now it's time for questions from the jury.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
I have a very trivial one. It's the solar panels need the cleaning, or well, at least several times in the season. How is it with this type of construction?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we do understand this, and so what we are telling is just like a regular solar panels today are either cleaned by water or by the robotic arms that go through the brushes that clean the panels. And so what we are we would be requiring some changes in the way the brushes are going to operate so that it cleans the glass. The glass is not a flat one now; it has some kind of grooves. But we have also taken care in the design stage that the grooves that we create have been designed such that there is not too much dust accumulation. We have taken that into consideration and designed it. But there might be, and we are looking at it, and we'll be partnering with some companies to understand this better, and if need, develop customized cleaning solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lakshmi, my question would be that what wasn't clean from your presentation for me. Maybe I was missing something. Are you targeting projects or rooftop projects that are already operating, or are you targeting the panel manufacturers to put your solution as an extra layer on their panels?
So we are in this as a B2B business. So we'll be the technology providers, and we'll be partnering with the panel manufacturer. We'll be supplying this glass to them, and the panel manufacturer is going to make it in their manufacturing line. And the end consumer of this is to guide the panel manufacturers, like some of them are the complete, they own the end-to-end supply chain, and they're also the EPC developers. But initially, we want to set forth in our beachhead market is the rooftop segment. So we are initially now talking to solar installers in the rooftop segment and trying to give a value proposition. And then with this, we are pitching ourselves to the manufacturers and asking them to make integrate this in the manufacturing line, and this is how we plan to go forward. So the first initial stepping stone for us would be the rooftop segment. This is the easiest to do. Also because of the way the mounting structure needs to be designed and other things are there, and eventually scale it to the solar farms.
Thank you very much. That's a difficult way because if you would have like an add-on solution, then you could persuade project owners use your solution. But if you want to go to the manufacturers, that's a difficult run because they will have a lot of questions. For example, how are they going to pack the panels with the new layer? They are not going to be able to put the same amount of panels in one container as they used to be. So that will imply a lot of difficulties, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, we do understand that we are talking with some of the panel manufacturers on this aspect. And so they have given us, like, we have various models to integrate it in the manufacturing line, as in, like, things can go on as it is today, and then we'll be adding those systems will be mounted on the panels. Then there is a portion where it will be like an integrated piece of glass that they need to put on the panel. Balaji has my other partner wants to answer.
If I can have one technical question before Paddy. Sorry.
Well, to be honest, we have time for one last question.
Laszlo,
it goes for Paddy. It goes for Paddy.
No, because now the pressure's on me, and if I ask a disappointing question, then it's going to be.
No, I mean, I'm sure you have the right question.
Go for it.
Okay. Usually, solar panels doesn't like if they are covered. And I see on your solution that you have a blue line, and it seems to me that it might be covering part of the cells. Did you have any prototype? What kind of test runs did you go through with your prototype, if you had, or you are at the idea phase?
Hi, thanks for the question. So the blue line that you see is nothing but the solar panel. It's just a representation that came out that way. So we are not covering the solar panel. The cells are covered with the top glass as it is covered today. There is no change in it, except that between the rows of cells, you have additionally prisms, and that is the only cost we are adding. And the prisms are only the glass cost that needs to be added, but there is no other change the way it works. If you remove the prisms, the panel exactly works the way it works today with the same amount of power that is generated. So there should not be any issues from that perspective.
Got it. Thank you very much. Was it a good question, Paddy?
Thank you very much, and also for the good vibes from your side, your members. And thank you very much, Renkube. We need to move from the next team, and our next team is Thermosolar from France. Thank you, Rumbos, for putting the video. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I would like to start with two questions. Do you care about heavy metal and semiconductor in renewable energy? Do you think that recycling is part of the energy transition? Creaspin has designed an autonomous thermosolar cogeneration power station completely green. Our proposition is a cogeneration solar power station at 50k euro. The size of 15 meter by 15 meter gives a daily power of 60 kilowatt hour of electricity and 80 kilowatt hour of heat. Our solution is long-term with non-polluting materials. In fact, you get free energy for 50 years. We are developing the technology from TRL level 1 to 5 with the European Space Agency. Our beachhead market is South European and North African market for off-grid business in rural economy. We will scale up for market with off-grid needs in Africa, India, and maybe South America. Our customer proposition is at first sight close to photovoltaic with battery, but as comparison we offer much more. No loss of heat with our cogeneration hot water. No pollution material or unethical process like mining. Biomass compatible with our thermal battery. So in fact, you get free energy without damaging the planet. Our solution can be summarized in 3 S's: sun, salt, and sound. Sun is captured through self-oriented reflector and concentrated on the head of a tank which contains salt. Salt is our thermal battery. Like an ice cube that stores cold for your glass, our solution stores heat in the transition from solid to liquid salt. Salt is therefore used as a thermodynamic cycle. It transforms this heat, hot source, into electricity on demand. The secondary, cold sink of the thermoacoustic engine is used as a source of cogeneration heat, resulting in an advantageous overall efficiency. We have participated in the Web Summit. This gave us a lot of customer feedback. The key learning and answer to question is autonomy, hot water cogeneration, and true green solution. We get a few hot prospects, but I am pleased today to announce that we just signed a collaboration to install a power station in Birbir Tamtam, Morocco, in an all rural business. Our product costs 26K to produce, and we can have close to 100% margin on it. In 2025, we will sell 1,000 products with a profit per year of 24 million. We offer off-grid power solution, and a long-term service model is the further growth path. As a house owner, you would have to pay 16 euro access to power and then have more than free energy. Our climate impact gain is huge because we are cleaner to produce and we have higher efficiency. The heat of cogeneration is getting there for free. So if we accumulate the gain on production and on use, we outperform PV solution by 30,000 tons, 30 megakilo of CO2 in the 5th year. Since we don't use heavy metal or semiconductor, we will also gain a lot in the recycling. As a team, we dream to offer the world a free energy transition without pollution. We built 10 power stations in 3 years and scale up with local social production. We believe that creativity is the key to adapt to a changing world and changing climate. We thank you for your vote, and also we thank you to be here.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the questions from our loved jury.
Right. Shall I start this time? This may be a dumb question.
Yes, please.
So I was, from
it's
a
the
great
first
last
thing
question
to do.
to a dumb first question. No, and again, just for my own, I look at this, but if you look at it again, it's obviously solar. What is the storage element within this process? It may be very obvious, but I missed it in the presentation.
So the storage is a tank with salt, and the salt change from solid to liquid. Okay. And during this transition, you store a lot of energy. Okay. It's like the ice cube that you put in your aperitif. The cube in transition from solid to liquid is making your aperitif cold. It's the same here, but in a reverse.
Okay, no, super. That's good. Thank you.
I shall go then. I would look at Laszlo and, I got a little bit confused. A lot of numbers, and I'm happy that you already have one. Morocco will be the receiver of the first device itself, but what is the actual market that you're targeting, given the price and the volume?
Yes. In fact, we target off-grid rural mainly for business, but also for kind of eco-resort or little village, because one power station can serve up to 6 to 8 houses. So, but mainly we look actually for rural business in Africa, India, and South America, and we believe that will give this business center a new way to come to social life in their village by having not only electricity but also hot water.
Thank you.
As far as I know, there are some in Spain. Israel might know that there are some concentrated heat solar stations that are using salt as a storage. And am I right?
It's partly right.
Partly right. That's perfect. Not absolutely dumb. So basically, you are doing something similar in a smaller scale, right? So you managed to put it in a smaller scale that can run a couple of houses or a small business.
Correct. Okay. In fact, in the maybe you're finished or you have a question more? No. Okay. Basically, the Spain size has been very big, and when you do it very big, you have a problem with technology because you go to very high temperature, like 1,500 degrees, and then the salt become very corrosive, and then you have so much technical problem that economically it's not viable. So the idea here is to make it smaller and then economically viable, and then connect several of them by microgrid if you need more power.
Currently, what TRL stage are you at with your product development? You said that you are you started from TRL 1.
Yes.
And where are you right now?
No, we are starting. So we are TRL 1-2. And we will be in TRL 5 in approximately 8 to 10 months.
All right. And what do you think, what do you foresee the major difficulties will be with this technology?
There are no major risk, but my background is to attack first the risk and then to do product development. So I see this as a normal product development. Maybe the main risk is to get to the right efficiency with the right size for the alternator. But for the rest, but I've seen some publication that this technology, like thermoacoustic, has been used on a huge diesel engine to recuperate the heat of the exhaust. And they came to a model which has the same power and the same size as what we want. So it's feasible and not too much risk.
Might be a little expensive.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
In fact, you use only let's say air and a few moving parts, so you don't have very complex part inside.
Okay, thank you very much. No more question from my side.
Okay, time's up anyway. Yeah, thank you so much for the questions. I thank you very much, Thermosolar, for your participation.
Thanks a lot, and sorry for the desynchronization of the video and audio. I had some bandwidth issue like you have also during the recording.
It was totally fine. It was totally fine. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
So we will need to move right now to the next team. Our next team is Time Machine for Energy, hydrogen, and they come from Ukraine.
There is no shortage of energy on our planet. While we have plenty of energy, the problem is having access to it at the right time. With growing renewable energy capacities, current energy storage technologies allows us to use daytime energy at night. But they are not capable of shifting the energy surplus between seasons. We are Time Machine for Energy, and our mantle-based energy storage technology would allow you to use your summer renewable energy surplus for winter heating. Our deal is simple. We sell our energy storage device that reproduces energy stored in metallic aluminium in the forms of heat and hydrogen for businesses, and we charge 7,000 euros for this. By using the solid energy storage, we equalize the costs between the summer and winter seasons and save up to 30,000 euros in 5 years for our customers. Our beachhead market is shopping malls in Germany, with further plans to enter high-rise buildings, industry and transportation. Germany has recently adopted national hydrogen strategy that intends to increase the hydrogenic capacity and hydrogen usage in German economy. Over time, our product can also be used for the production of synthetic fuels, synthesis ammonia, etc. Germany is a springboard for the distribution of our development through the planet. Our customer value proposition is based on reducing usage of natural gas for heating and, in the future, its complete replacement. We replace 50% of the natural gas with hydrogen and heat. During the heating season, a supermarket can reduce the gas consumption by 50% and save up to 6,000 euros for 1 year by purchasing cheap electricity in the summer and storing it in aluminium. Our product, Time Machine for Energy, integrates in the existing gas heating system, and in the future it easily completely replaces it together with the main pipelines. At the same time, we are creating an aluminium exchange fund, Energy Hub, with transport logistics, where used aluminium will be exchanged for renewed and it will be again ready to be stored free of charge until it is used. Thus, we solve the problem of heating any premises without greenhouse gas emissions and provide an alternative to coal-fired warm power plants. With existing technologies, 1 kilogram of aluminium produces 9 kilowatts of thermal energy. Its renewal today requires 9 kilowatts. In the future, this process can be reduced to 6 kilowatts. Our advantages are indefinite free storage, green hydrogen, and unit thermal output up to 150 kilowatts an hour. In our customer discovery, we interviewed 3 supermarkets with such main assumptions. They want to cut their heating bills, they are ready to invest in solar panels and new technologies, and they adhere to eco-friendly politics. We learned that they have not considered an alternative to natural gas, they are ready to invest but need technology verification, and large companies tend to implement eco-friendly politics. Calculations show that the sale of a product in only 30% of shopping centers in Germany for 5 years gives a high income, almost 8 million euros. Income generation can be influenced by market share, part of gas being replaced, part of customers with green energy systems, and introduction of new technologies for the reproduction of aluminium from used. Our climate impact is quite significant, since the use of our product is heating systems cuts most of natural gas-related CO2 emissions. According to calculations, using the minimum amount of product sold, CO2 emissions will be reduced by more than 110,000 tons in 5 years. Our team consists of Victor, the inventor, and me, Olga, the market advisor. Our dreams are to sell over 8,000 pieces of a product in 5 years, to reach 2 million euros in sales in 2 years, and profit them to 7 million euros in 5 years, and significantly reduce CO2 emissions of retail operators. Be green and enjoy the summer heat in winter.
Thank you very much. Now it's time to start with the question from the jury.
Daniela, do you want to start?
Okay, thank you.
We've all jumped in.
Yeah, it seems, first of all, thank you so much for this. And I am really wondering about the size, because you're actually going to the businesses, to this Germany supermarkets and so on. So how big is the device? and how much space does it take? And well, what's the, so yeah, that's the main question. Then I'll just follow.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. The device is not so big. This size is only like washing a machine for washing things. Yes, and it is not so big. And the supermarket only need to have a little space for this little device, maybe 1 meter in high and 1 meter.
And does it need a software to be used? How much? So this device will go for one huge supermarket?
Yes, this a little device can give such many energy for big supermarket, like square 14,000 square meters, and it need the software. Yes, the software our company in future can give for our customers.
Give or sell?
What?
Give or sell?
We or sell?
Yeah, you said that you would give the software. Would you give it or sell it?
Oh, okay. Yes, we will sell the software.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have pilots running at the moment with the product? And I'm just curious, how is it installed? Who installs it? Who maintains it? It's part of the existing.
I'm sorry, I can.
Sorry,
I can hear the question.
No, sorry, it's a standard mistake I make with my my microphone. Do you have any pilots running at the moment with the product? And I'm also curious about who installs it, because it's part of the existing gas heating system, and who maintains it.
Okay, can you repeat, please? Because
yeah, sorry, I speak very quickly.
Let me see if I can help here. The question would be, do you have any pilot, any experiment that is taking place at the moment?
Yes. Okay. Yes, we have a device here in Ukraine, and we okay. I can say I can demonstrate. We have a device, and I can show you the work of the device.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, here you can see a prototype, and we are testing, and you can see the burn of hydrogen here, and okay, these pictures.
Yeah.
About testing. Mm-hmm.
And you would install, once it's the prototype, the pilots, you would install this with your team once this becomes more commercial, and you roll it out. Who would install this on site?
Okay, if I actually hear.
Yeah.
Here's the question. We have only technique prototype, but we have not prototype in supermarket. We have technology, yes, and a prototype in our laboratory.
Okay.
So it's in the laboratory, but who is it going to install it for your customer? You or someone different?
Okay, it will be our business, and our people, yes, will be install this device for customers in actually existing heating system, which they have already.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have some more time for one more question. I didn't get the
last one, yeah.
Thank you. Aluminum part in your presentation. So you mentioned a couple of data about the aluminum, but I'm not sure what was them about.
You're not sure about aluminum what?
The aluminum in your slide.
Okay.
That one, the one that you showed before.
Yeah, go to the product slide. Product slide, please.
Product slide, yes. Okay.
Product. Well, maybe it's not product. Let's. Oh yeah, this one. You know, you're talking about aluminium here. Yeah.
Yes.
From 1 kilo of aluminium.
Yes.
Can you just go walk us through this aluminum issue, because I don't get this point.
Okay. Can you repeat what question is it? Aluminum.
Yeah. Well, maybe the question would be, why are you using aluminium? What is the aluminium for in your product?
Okay. Okay. Aluminium is aluminum and water we have in our technology, yes, and we use the aluminum for production the hydrogen, and our device is for using the aluminum and water to reproduce in hydrogen.
Okay.
Reproduce in hydrogen.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Now it's time to move on for our next team. And last but not least, thank you so much, Time Machine for Time Machine for Energy Hydrogen. And we need to move for our last team. Our last team, last but not least, comes from Colombia. I don't know if you're ready.
Hello everyone. Power outages are everyday business in the developing world. According to the World Bank, power outages in developing countries can be up to 20 hours per month, thus having a catastrophic social and economic impacts. But these issues are being solved in developed countries by using smart energy technologies. But why these smart energy technologies are not taking off in developing countries? The answer is simple. Because the electricity infrastructure in developing countries lags behind to those advanced economies by 10 to 20 years. My name is Carlos Soto, and I'm the CEO and founder of VirtualEL. And we are creating a solution and a new technology to tackle this problem by empowering and rewarding electricity users to digitalize and convert into virtual batteries their appliance that consumes and demands the most energy, refrigerators, by using our smart plug that we sell at a price of $23. And at the same time, we use these appliances under storage capacity to supply a unique virtual energy storage and demand management service to distribution system operators at a price of $70 per 0.1 megawatt. And in the medium term, we're planning to give the device to the user for free, so we can accelerate the adoption rate and scalability. Now let's take a look at where we're going to start implementing our solution. The global market for home automation and demand response and management is around $130 billion per year. However, our beachhead market is Colombia, which is worth $720 million, where we're going to help electricity users to get an extra income as cash incentives and to reduce their electricity bills by up to 20%. And to DSO companies, we help them to reduce CAPEX and OPEX by 40 and 30% respectively. And most importantly, to increase supply reliability and to improve users' welfare. Now let's see how our solution works. The user connects the refrigerator to our smart plug and chooses a smart consumption, and our artificial intelligence system regulates the power influx based on the request from the DSO company whenever there is a power outage coming up. All of our global competitors technologies are based in advanced metering infrastructure and smart meters, while we offer an alternative to developing countries that lack of it. This is possible thanks to our AI-based automation technology and proprietary algorithms that are specialized in residential refrigeration equipment. We got to know our customers' pains and headaches by carrying out 300 surveys and interviews, and we found out that the main priorities are to reduce OPEX and CAPEX, to comply with regulation, and to get an extra income for being efficient and green. Last year, we were chosen by ESA in alliance with the World Energy Council as one of the projects with the potential to disrupt and benefit the electricity markets. We see ourselves by 2025 with a market share of 20%, 1.4 million users, and bringing in roughly $5 million in revenue. Although we need to keep a close eye on OPEX, scalability, the number of customers, and of course the number of electricity users, considering that we're not only aiming at financial profitability, but also environmental sustainability. By meeting our market goals by 2025, we will reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 50,000 tons per year, and additionally, we will displace the construction of thermal plants, the manufacturing of batteries, and their negative environmental impact. We're doing all this in order to build and advance a smart electricity infrastructure, mostly in developing countries, and to connect and benefit 50 million users and reach a valuation of $200 million by 2030. Luckily, we have a wonderful team to make this possible, with large experience in renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and information technology. I would like to invite all of you to press our button so together we can enhance the welfare of millions by improving the reliability and efficiency of electricity supply. We're VirtualEL, and we're giving refrigerators a new life. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias. Now we need to move on for the questions from the jury. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm happy to start because I think the balance of system is very important. Is a very important issue, and the demand side management is also a very important issue. My question to Carlos is, why did you choose residential refrigerators when they are only consuming around 50 watts each? So you need a couple of 100,000 to be able to balance the system in Colombia.
That's a very good question, thank you. And actually, we chose refrigerators because refrigerators in developing countries account for 30 to 50% of the total electricity consumption among households or residential users. So that means that if we control this refrigerator, we can control around 30 to 50% of the energy consumption. So we can of course, we can break down a barrier in developing countries for implementing smart energy technologies that is the low energy consumption per capita or the low electricity consumption per capita. So that's actually the barrier that we're breaking down with our technology to aggregate massive amounts of refrigerators that have a huge potential for energy balance and energy efficiency in developing countries. So that is a key part of the virtual electricity infrastructure that we are trying to build.
Okay, thank you. And did you consider commercial ones as well, which are much larger?
Absolutely. There is a very good question because in Latin America, our beachhead market is Colombia, but we're focusing in Latin America. In Latin America, there is a very common phenomenon that small shops, there are more than 2 million small shops from Mexico to Argentina. So what we're trying to do is to, like each of these small shops, the 90% of the electricity consumption of these small shops are small refrigerators. So we absolutely see a huge potential for aggregating these refrigerators from beverage refrigerators like Coca-Cola or the brewing companies or beer companies. So we see a huge potential, and we see those refrigerators, commercial refrigerators, playing a huge role in energy balancing and electricity balancing and demand management among developing countries, especially in Latin America.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for this presentation. You know, it's impressive indeed but again, I have questions. So first of all, would be you're targeting developing countries, which is why I am so impressed. And these are the countries, but that sometimes do not, well, the grid falls because the grid is old, because there are so many issues that can happen. So what would be the result and how would this affect the specific device you're providing if the grid falls, if there is no electricity?
Thank you. Actually, in developing countries, there is 1 billion people without reliable access to electricity. I mean, 1 billion people connected to the grid. So 1 billion people that are connected to the grid, but they don't have reliability in the service. So there is a huge problem within this population that is connected to the grid. And sometimes we forget about them. And basically, the combination of the device and the technology, the AI technology, what we did is that we have identified that the main reasons or the main causes for electricity outages or power outages in these developing countries are mainly the lack of infrastructure. Infrastructure or generation capacity cannot keep up with the demand. So that is a huge problem. And of course, in developing countries, we don't have the budget for investing in more generation capacity. That is a very inefficient way to approach the problem and very unsustainable. So with our technology, what we're doing is taking advantage of something that we already have. Refrigerators have a penetration rate among developing countries higher than 70%. And also connectivity and internet infrastructure, communication infrastructure is higher than 70%. So we're using these two things that we have among developing countries as a pilot for building up our virtual electricity infrastructure in order to tackle this issue and reducing the gap between infrastructure development between developing countries and developed countries. That could be 10, 20, and up to 30 years in some African countries. And we are empowering communities and residential users to benefit from it. So that's how we are tackling the problem.
I didn't really get the answer. Actually, it's how the device works and what happens if there is no electricity. That was my specific question.
And the answer is that the system in the cloud and the device, they interact each other to avoid for the electricity outage to take place. So mainly, like we're tackling in that way. So I hope to answer the question.
Thanks.
So I have a quick question. What is the status of the smart meter rollout in say Colombia, for example? Because that seems to be an intrinsic part of your potential competitor strategy. If you look at the connection with the AMI smart meter.
Yeah, that's a good question, Patty. Thank you. So basically, where the main barrier to we're trying to break down is the lack of smart meters among developing countries. So basically, for many countries, they're not planning to roll out this smart energy infrastructure. But in the case, of course, this is a transition. So in case that transition happens and they start to roll out the smart meters, we're complementary. So we will be complementary, but what we're trying to do is like try to smooth this transition in developing countries, the lack of smart metering infrastructure by propulsing our technologies. Is the way that we are kind of like smoothing this transition.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's clear.
So thank you so much. You know, we have done the eight presentations. Yeah. So please, if you could turn your camera on so we can say goodbye all together. Yeah. And well, you know, from my side, the only thing that I can say is that I'm totally impressed about the performance that you have done today. You know, I'm so happy that I'm not in the skin of the jury members. Yeah, because now they have a really difficult and tough job to decide which is the best team for today. Yeah, and also which two teams are going to be performing on Friday in the finals. You know, as you know, tomorrow evening we will be the time in which we will say which teams are going to be performing in the great finale that it will be on Friday. Yeah. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, my great jury members, and also thank you very much, my room boss, for all your job. Now it's time to leave the room, but remember one important thing, is that, it's not about winning, it's about the impact that we're going to generate in the world, and also it's about the big network that we have here all together. So thank you very much, and please, it doesn't matter what happens, please continue working to generate a better and a greener world. Yeah. So thank you very much.